Terraria. It's a great game, but it's also very long. So much so to where people who make content on the game often segment their playthroughs into anywhere from 20 to over 100 episodes. Not me though. You're getting this shit in one. And I'm playing on expert mode. Loading in, my first priority, get wood. Because if you're not able to build a house by the time night comes around, you are done for. And I just realized my house looks like Among Us. I then decided to go caving where I would find one life crystal before dying. But when I got back, I found these guys moved into my house. Usually I'd be upset about squatters moving in while I'm on a short trip. But frankly, these guys sell me things and buy things from me, so I'm okay with it. After this, I of course went back to the mines where I would get another life crystal and a shark bait that gives me a little shark guy. I died afterwards, but I got a little shark guy. I would then make some simple upgrades to my armor and find this yo-yo before going to the sky. Can we get much higher? With this gravity potion I found. While up there, I would find the item that just completely gets rid of fall damage, which means I can much more safely now go into bigger caves. I didn't account for incompetence. Bro, what is the nurse doing? I then got these cool ass goggles before slime started falling from the sky, which means I have to fight King Slime. I am not ready for a boss battle. So that went well. I then went straight back to mining where I found a mushroom biome that gave me the best items possible. The Toad outfit. Hermes boots are cool too, I guess. I then had another random boss spawn in. This time it was the Eye of Cthulhu, and I'm still not ready for a boss battle. I then decided, oh wow, I fucking hate being weak. I'm gonna get strong real quick. That eye is dying. And now that I've beaten the Eye of Cthulhu, that means I get the Shield of Cthulhu, which makes it way easier to fight him. So, let's do it again. And now that I've killed him twice, I can afford to buy a mini shark, which makes it way easier to fight him. So, let's do it again. After this, my next target was getting revenge on King Slime, but unfortunately, I would not have time for that as I got pulled up on by goblins.
Goblins are real. Goblins are real.
I think I might have died like 15 times before getting rid of these guys. Anyway, now I can fight King Slime. It was not difficult. The next boss on my list was Queen Bee, and while I was trying to set up an arena, this shit happened. I did try putting up a fight. Emphasis on try. I don't think it would have mattered either way though, because I managed to set up an arena without accidentally spawning her in, and I still lost. Alright, fuck this. Getting strong again. For some reason, I have every item I need in my inventory to make lightning boots, and I don't make them. Why did I do this? I then ended up finding the jungle temple and remembered this glitch I knew to get in there early, so I just have golem items now, and I'm not even in hard mode. While I was down in this cave, I found 2 more gravity potions that I used to search the rest of the Sky Islands, and by the rest, I mean 1. There was 1 left after I'd only searched 1. I didn't even know that was possible to get that little. Since it gave me a Star Fury, I decided to have my second go at fighting the Brain of Cthulhu. I forgot to mention that I fought him before, but I barely lost to him, so I was pretty confident going in this time. Turns out this was very false confidence. Even though I lost, I still got the materials I needed from him to make the pickaxe, so after killing the eye again to revamp my ego, I went down and mined for Hellstone. And let me tell you, dear viewer, once I had Hellstone armor, which is the best you can get before hard mode, this brain did not stand a chance. It wasn't just this fight the Hellstone armor was assisting me in either, because after killing this brain, I did not stop winning. I went straight on to killing Skeletron, which gave me access to the dungeon, where I immediately found the only 2 items I needed from it. This allowed me to craft the best pre-hard mode sword, as well as going down into hell to search every single shadow chest. And all of these upgrades led to me finally killing that
pesky bee.
And now that every boss on my list is down, all there's left to do is make that hell bridge before fighting the Wall of Flesh. And now that the wall of flesh is dead and the world is in hard mode, that means all of my items are useless. I started off hard mode by trying to purify the parts of the crimson that had spread all over the world, before deciding that I can't be bothered, I'll deal with it later. My next order of business was to get hard mode ores to spawn into my world, where I would be blessed with cobalt, mithril, death, and titanium. I then went mining for a bit to get some of these ores so that I could make some armor with them, and while I did do that, I clearly was still not strong enough as I immediately died to a wyvern and a random Skeletron Prime attack. So I went and got myself a full set of cobalt armor before having a random king slime spawn in that I destroyed. And then I got myself a full set of mithril armor before having a random set of the twins spawn in where I got destroyed. Then finally I mined enough titanium to be one ore away from a full set of armor. God damn it. But one mining trip of shame later, I had the full set. I then went back to get revenge on the wyvern, and after doing this, I actually got a giant harpy feather, which means all I have to do is kill another wyvern and I get wings. Oh, shit. Which means all I need to do is kill another wyvern and I get wings. Since I instantly got everything I needed from it in pre-hard mode, I never actually went into the dungeon, so I figured I'd go back now. I ended up finding two main things. One of them was a chest that just turned into a slime when I opened it, and the other was the mechanic that just killed herself after I untied her. After I got back to the base, another random king slime spawned in, and for some reason he was green? I didn't know this could happen. Anyway, after dusting this guy, I decided to buy a pogo stick, and yes, this is very important to include in the video. After making this amazing purchase, I decided to do some caving before the blood moon rose, and I headed straight back home. You can get some pretty good drops from the blood moon, and I think I got the best one, the money trough, which is a portable piggy bank, so you never have to worry about losing money. One thing this blood moon did make me realize is that I need to get a better ranged weapon. I'm still using the mini shark I was fighting the Eye of Cthulhu with. The weapon I put my sights on was the, I don't know how to say that word, Stormbow, as you don't need to kill any of the mechanical bosses before getting it. It is extraordinarily time consuming though, as you need to kill as many mobs as it takes to get 15 souls of light, which only have a 20% drop chance in the underground hallow, in order to create a key that you put in a chest that then makes a mimic that you fight and maybe it'll drop it. It's a 1 in 4 chance though, so it can't take me that long. Right? My first mimic fight goes pretty well. Didn't get the Stormbow, but I took down the mimic pretty easily, got a flying knife, and didn't die. My second mimic fight, however, I am about to win, then the Destroyer shows up, and needless to say, I end up dying to him. Look how low the mimic is too. Give me 5 more seconds, that guy's dead. Naturally, I followed this up by fighting 4 Eyes of Cthulhu in order to cope, and then went and got the souls in order to fight another mimic. Which I did kill this time, it's just, it gave me a knife again. It's cool, I just don't need it, I already have one. For the next mimic, I decided to make myself a titanium sword in order to get souls quicker. Turns out it doesn't matter how much time I saved though, because it was still wasted. I got another knife. It took until my 5th mimic fight that I got an outcome that wasn't either a knife or the Destroyer, and while it wasn't the Stormbow, I was just glad to see anything other than that damn blade. I was originally going to wait until I got my Stormbow for this, but I've been down to the Hallow so many times and gotten so many Queen Slime spawners that I just decided it's time to fight her, and somehow I pull it off with my mini shark. And she gave me a knife summon as the reward. I feel like I'm being made fun of. I then made my Queen Slime arena better, killed her again, killed another hallowed mimic and didn't get what I wanted, died to Queen Slime, and then fought the mimic that finally gave me the Stormbow. I then of course used it to kill Queen Slime twice before setting out to get revenge on the very thing that sent me down this path to begin with. Now that the Destroyer was dead, I could finally upgrade my Mini Shark to a Mega Shark alongside a metric ton of Ichor bullets. This major upgrade gave me the confidence I needed to take on my second mechanical boss, the twins. Turns out fighting them in space is not the best idea. Someone should have told me this before I tried fighting them again. Why didn't I learn? I guess 2 deaths got the message through though, as after this I went and made a platform way closer to the ground before starting another rematch. After finally killing the twins, I would then use their remains to make little versions of them that I could enslave. And I would very quickly get a chance to test them out as I once again got pulled up on by goblins.
Goblins are real. Goblins are real.
It was much easier this time, which made me want an actual challenge, so I decided to do the hard mode equivalent of the goblins, the pirates. One thing doing this pirate invasion made me realize was that my house sucks. I can't move around it for shit, which is why the next thing I did was add a bunch of platforms to it to make it way easier to move around. Doesn't fix the fact that it's ugly though. I don't know, maybe I'll fix it later. But in the meantime, my priorities were set on going after the third and final mechanical boss, Skeletron Prime. I was actually going to win that till the damn wyvern showed up. Alright, run it back. Now that all three of the mechanical bosses are down, I can finally make myself the Drax, which gives me access to mining chlorophyte, which means I get a new armor set. I also got this cool wizard robe and butterfly wings. Something I didn't know is that if you have chlorophyte, you can just make a true Excalibur. I thought you needed a broken hero sword for this, but I guess not. Now that I had a new weapon and armor set, I figured it was time that I tried to fight Terraria. The first attempt did not go too great. I accidentally spawned in Queen Bee and then had a hallowed mimic follow me right after breaking the Plantera bulb. Despite this, however, I still managed to get her down to an extremely low amount of health before dying. So as long as I don't get chased by a boss and a mimic this time, I'm pretty sure a fair rematch is going to turn out well. Holy fuck, that was close. For some reason, immediately after barely beating Plantera, my next priority was to fight Gollum. That shit did not go well. When I spawned back home, I got pulled up on by pirates again, which with the upgrades I've gotten, weren't that much of a challenge. So I decided I'd try my hand at fighting the solar eclipse. And if you can't tell by the amount of gravestones here, I got my ass handed to me. I did get a bunch of cool items though, including a broken hero sword, which after looking it up, means I can just make a Terrorblade. All I need is some extra souls of might and sight for the True Knight's Edge and I will be there. So I went up against the Destroyer again, and took the twins back on. I said took the twins back on. Alright, fine, I'll get potions, so I could take the twins back on, so that I could make that True Knight's Edge that allowed me to make the Terrorblade. Bro, what is the goblin doing? Alright, I've got a new weapon, time to fight Gollum. Alright, fine, I'll get potions. Although I did kill him, I did not get the pickaxe. So I say, run that shit back. I got the pickaxe, which means my next priority is going after Duke Fishron, which means once again, I need to get stronger. I would first upgrade my armor to a beetle set, and then create myself a celestial stone before getting all the life fruits I needed to get maximum health. I then got myself some beetle wings, not because they're better, just I think they look cool. I figured these upgrades would be enough to help me fight Duke Fishron, so I went and got some truffle worms before starting to make the arena. And then this thing showed up and I didn't kill it, and oh god, the Martians are here. Now that the Martians are gone, I could go back to preparing to fight Duke Fishron, but frankly, I am sick of looking at this house. It's uneven, I used non-matching wood on the left for some reason, one of the rooms is built out of ice. If you're gonna make one of your rooms out of ice, you should build them all out of ice. So naturally, I pulled the whole thing down, started collecting ice, and built a whole new one just out of ice. And god, this looks better. Alright, now I can fight Duke Fishron. It did take 2 tries, but Duke Fishron is now another boss checked off the list. In fact, this is the last boss left on the list before going after Moonlord, which means one more time, I need to get stronger. I of course start off by buying myself Pikachu before using my money in an actually useful way and getting a godly Terrorblade. I then went down into the dungeon to get the materials in order to make an Ankh charm, and while I was down there I managed to get a Paladin's hammer, which I reforged godly on the first go. I then went on a search for some shoe spikes, climbing claws, tabi, and a black belt, which I somehow got at the exact same time, in order to make Master Ninja gear. I then spent a whole platinum coin in order to look like Rosalina before finally getting myself some Terraspark boots. Throughout all these upgrades, there has been one thing I haven't mentioned though, and it's the 7 times I died to Duke Fishron. On top of all of these items, I really wanted to get myself some Fishron wings, but it turns out I just must have used some form of magic in order to beat him last time, because I could not replicate it. Despite this, however, I was still feeling confident enough to go into fighting Moonlord. So I set myself up an arena with minecarts that had a nurse in the middle, and went up against the lunatic cultist. With the cultists dead, this begins an event with 4 pillars appearing across the world, and once you manage to take all 4 of them down, that's when you get a chance to fight Moonlord. Oh my fucking god. I thought my death here just made me have to restart the whole process, but turns out it doesn't. The pillars stay there. I decided to start off after this by targeting the blue pillar, as I knew the materials it would give me would let me make one of the best summons in the game, which I then followed up with very similar logic, taking down the red pillar to make sure I could get this sick melee weapon. I then completely forgot to clip myself killing the green one before going against the purple pillar. And once I managed to take it down, all there was left to do was head to my arena and await the Moonlord's arrival. It was over. The Moonlord was dead, the game was beaten. But despite this, I still felt my work wasn't done. I still felt as if I had a score left to settle. And it wouldn't be right ending this without getting my revenge. Yeah, that's right, bitch! Know your place!